Right, it's Friday morning. It's the 1st of March, and one of my local, I have a very, very nice local garden centre called Plant World in Gillingham, and they have got 30% off all their perennials. So having done quite a lot of work this week, my colleague Nicola WhatsApped me last evening and said, stuff it, let's take a couple of hours off and go and have a rave up. And I think having a rave up in a garden centre is arguably the most fun you can have sober. So I'm going to not spend very much money, but I'm going to have a very nice time. And I thought you might like to come along and see the kind of things that I think are good to buy in a garden centre at this time of year. It's the 1st of March. A great time to buy plants because the ground will slowly begin to warm up and be receptive to planting. So come on, let's go and have a rave up at the garden centre. And if you're new to the channel, you're very welcome. Please do subscribe, press the bell icon, and we'll tell you when we've got more clips coming up. And if any of the tips and tricks we give you along the way are useful, you can always buy me a coffee, or better still, join my club, where 375 other people are making a great community of garden and flower lovers. Right, on we go. So here we are. Don't let me go mad. I tell you what, it's like being a kid in a sweetie shop. So Nick and I are just walking around having a look, not buying anything first. We haven't got a trolley yet. But look at all these magnolias. Aren't they gorgeous? I had a stellata once and killed it stone dead. But I have got a grandiflora, which is really, really very happy. I don't know, look, they're bursting into bud. If I get myself another one. They're not for cutting, so I don't pay any attention to them. I mean, you can cut them. Magnolia stellata cuts very nicely. Will I put it in a pot and look after it? Will I? Big question. Very cheery lupins, and look, you're not getting one plant. I can see 4 or 5 in there. So £5, but 5 plants. And if I had grown them from seed, it wouldn't have cost me much less. This is a really good little garden centre. There's so much to choose from. Lovely fresh bedding, but interesting grasses, great shrubs. I mean, it's just a really, every time I come here, I find something I can't resist. And look, this is Geum Lizanne, lovely white, very pretty. And you could split this and probably have 7 or 8 plants. And look at this Physostegia. You see lots and lots of plants. That's definitely one for me. Look, it's not just Nick and me out enjoying the sunshine. There's a ladybird too on the Achillea. So here's our Nick. Those of you who are in the club or film workshops, this is Nick. And Nick has got some lovely little people. Look. Oh, this one I think is going to seed itself around. And the fritillary, the snake's head fritillary. Oh, lovely things. And look, the geum that she's going to be able to split and make more plants. Nearly everything is going to be more than one of these lupins. So that's Nick's haul. And I'm ashamed to say, but I couldn't resist these lupins because there are 4 or 5 in each plot, in each pot. The same with the delphiniums. This is a white geum, lovely. Look, I'll split that and make a load. The Physostegia are the same, load. And then this is a pink Veronica spicata, which I don't have. Again, splittable. So, oh, and then I've been feeling very FOMO with all the flower farmers who grow raspberry for foliage. So I've got myself 3 just to see as a trial. Lovely penstemon. But if you're buying plants, look, really, really nice. If you're buying plants, do have a look, because that's a sign it might be a bit pot bound, which will be fine. You'll just have to cut the roots up. But if you can get plants that aren't pot bound, then do. So with 30% off, this is £58.20, which I think is not bad value at all, especially since pretty much all of them are going to make lots of plants. I'm going to do very well out of this. I'm very pleased. They're nice people. So the sale is on until the end of the weekend. I'm going to post this today and I'll show you later how I split the plants. But it's such a nice small garden centre. If you've got a small plant nursery, you know, I'm kind of obsessive about growing from seed and, you know, being careful about propagating myself and doing things as inexpensively as possible. But actually, sometimes it's quite good to go and be inspired at a garden centre. And you find things that you wouldn't otherwise see or that you've discounted because you thought they were, I don't know, for whatever reason. So maybe this weekend, go and have a rave up, or at least just go and be inspired. Go and have a look. And then here we are at Kimber's, the kitchen at Kimber's, where there's our Dange, where we have our lunches for our workshops. But also, Nick and I have business meetings. Cake. Right, later the same day, Nick and I have had our monthly business meeting, and she's very kindly delivering flowers to Froome for me, which is extremely kind. So I'm now going to go through these plants and I'm going to see how many I can make. I'm not going to split the raspberries that I bought, but everything else here I'm going to split, and we'll see how many we can make. Plant sale, I'm putting plants for my plant sale in round pots. So these are going to go into square pots. Obviously square pots, these are my favourite kinds. So that I will know, without having to look at the labels, whether they are plant sale or me. And obviously these are for me. They're for common farm flowers, not for the plant sale. So I'm just going to half fill a pot, or three. Well, I'm going to do one at a time. Once I've shown you how I do this, I'm going to turn the recording off and just line them all up. But half fill a pot. And then take a plant where you suspect, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 plants. And this is a blue and white mixed lupin. Good roots coming out of the bottom, lovely strong plants. It's going to be well rooted to pot bound because there are 5 plants in this pot. I mean, this is really good value. Well done, Plant World. Thank you very much, Plant World. So I'll just do this. Not too root bound. I'm going to be able to pull them apart quite easily. And I'm just taking my hand. Look. As if by magic. I mean, that's fantastic value. 1. Pop it in. Top it up with a bit of compost so that the roots are all covered up. And this will get away really quickly because I'm giving it a bit of room. Potting on like this is a really good idea. And you can often find at the garden centre, you can often find plants which are clearly more than one plant. So always look to see whether you're getting more value for money. Right, I'm going to turn off the recording and I'll show you when I'm all done. Right, you know I said I thought I'd get 4 or 5 plants out of that one pot. Well, look here, if you don't mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Admittedly, one of them is very tiny, but one pot, I think it was £7.99. I'm going to check. Stay there. Fabrizio's brought me a cup of tea. Isn't that nice of him? One pot, £4.99. for 10 plants. If I had, I think it's really worth thinking about this. I mean, I know I love growing things from seed and, you know, it's a really great way to propagate plants and blah, blah, blah. But if I had ordered the seeds, sown the seeds, looked after the plants all winter, potted them on, blah, 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 I'm not sure for 10 plants if it wouldn't have cost me $4.99 or somewhere nearby. Anyway, I feel as though I'm thrilled and I'm going to carry on. But just when you go to the garden centre, look at the plants that you're buying, because you may find that, as if by magic, you think you're buying one, but secretly you're buying 10. Right, I'm going to do the rest and I'll show you how many I get all together. So I had 5 pots of lupins and I've now got 10, there are 10 in a row, 10, 20, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 37 plants for an investment of 5 fives, 20, a little under 25 quid. You see what I mean when I say rave up at the garden centre. I mean, I didn't really have a budget, but I didn't want to spend too much money. But it's a good idea to be opportunistic. Why not? I'd rather, in my old age, go take a couple of hours off and go to a garden centre with my friend Nick and have a coffee afterwards than maybe go out and get plastered at night. Because alcohol makes me tired and gives me palpitations in the night. And I've had a really nice time. I had a little social chat, and I feel as though I've won. I've won at the game of life by having whatever it was, 37 plants for the price of 5. Right, I'm going to do the rest, but you see what I mean. And this is, you know, we're the 1st of March, so it's garden centre season. So if you're going to go to a garden centre this weekend, Plant World in Milton on Stour, just outside Gillingham in Dorset, has got 30% off pretty much all the plants and pots this weekend until Sunday evening. So if you're in this neck of the woods, they're a really, really nice, small nursery run by people who know what they're doing. They grow a lot of their own plants. It's got a really good collection, lovely things to, I mean, it's got something for everyone. It's a really nice, small, independent garden centre. So I really recommend that. But if you go anywhere, have some fun. Yeah, look. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest and I'll see what I get up. Then 3 pots of delphiniums have come up with 6 plants. Now the little white geum has come out very pot bound. So I'm going to cut this into sections to make more plants, and I will probably take off about 1/3 of the bottom of the root where it's all very, very pot bound here. I'll probably just take off about 1/3 of the pot. There's plenty of root structure up here, and looking at what I've got here, that makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll probably do 5 plants. Look, little saw, and I've just sawn off the bottom 1/3 of this very compacted geum, and I can just carry on sawing. Please do be careful with your hands at this stage. Don't cut your fingers off. Wear gloves and keep your fingers away from the saw. Now I've got 2. One. There we are. They're like little bits of cake. There's plenty of root going down the side. I might pull off quite a lot of this old compost, bit manky, bit anaerobic. mean, if I wanted to really take it apart, there, with a little bit of root, would be one plant. I'm not gonna get that fiddly, but you can see as I'm pulling off the old compost, it's a bit anaerobic because it's been outside all winter and it's been incredibly wet, but look at all the root system there. So this is going to root up and make me a nice new plant. Right. On we go. Look, the Physostegia also really very pot bound, but look, you know, plant. These are all different plants. If I wanted, I won't do that. I will just saw this up like I did before, but you can see how you could really have a field of Physostegia from this one pot. And there we are. Right, these plants cost me £58.20, and I have 60 plants. So they cost me ever so slightly less than £1 each. 37 lupins, 6 delphiniums, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the little white GM, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Physostegia, and 4 of the pink Veronica. So if tomorrow, the 2nd of March, you think, I'm going to go and have a rave up at a garden centre, have fun. If you are in this neck of the woods, then Plant World at New Milton, at Milton on Stour, I beg your pardon, has 30% off all its perennials and lovely pot collection. If you have some fun, you could end up with a great deal more in the way of plants. I'm now going to put these to one side, outside. They're hardy already. They've all been outside at the garden centre. I'm just going to put them somewhere sheltered to sort of fatten up a bit while I've then got time to get the beds ready and get them in. There you are. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. Have fun at your garden centre rave ups. I'll see you again soon. Bye.